Kind of crazy, but over 10,000 people bought the iPad 9 last month on Amazon alone, which is actually the same amount as the newer iPad 10. But why is this older iPad so popular right now? Well, let's talk about it. With the price dropping down to as low as $199, that's probably one of the biggest reasons why it's been so popular. Keep in mind the base model starts at only 64 gigabytes, but there's also an option for 256 gigabytes. I know all the newer iPads have switched to the more modern design, but this older 10.2-inch Retina display has 1620 by 2160 resolution. But when you compare the 9th gen screen to the iPad 10, other than size, they're pretty comparable. The quality is still really nice on the older iPad 9. I feel like it's plenty bright enough, everything looks nice and sharp on here, especially compared to other tablets under $200. I know my wife still watches a lot of YouTube videos or TV shows on the even older iPad 8th generation. For me, I always thought having the fingerprint scanner or Touch ID right on the front is much more convenient than on the power button. Just keep in mind the battery life on this is not going to be the best out there, but it's pretty comparable to the newer iPads that I've tested. It lasted about 5.5 hours in my typical battery drain test at 100% screen brightness, so you can get a couple days of mixed usage, even longer if you turn the screen brightness down. I feel like the battery life is going to be good enough for most people, even in 2024 or going into 2025. Also, when it comes to the software on this iPad, it's going to feel very similar to the newer iPads, although this one's a little more unique with the physical home button combined with the gesture navigation. Nice thing is it just got updated to the newest iPadOS 18, but for me, really the only reason not to get this iPad would be the amount of software updates left on here is going to be pretty limited compared to the newer iPad 10. It's also nice that you can use the first gen Apple Pencil on this iPad as well. Sure, it's a little older style on how you charge it, but if you think about other tablets at this price, this is one of the few that has pen support and one that works this well. So if you plan on drawing, taking notes, or those types of things, this one's still a really good option in my opinion. Not necessarily a deal breaker, but this also still has the older Lightning port, so maybe a little more inconvenient than the USB-C port you get on the newer iPads. Now, when it comes to performance, obviously this isn't going to beat the newer iPads, but again, if you compare this to most other tablets in this category, the Galaxy Tab A9 or even the Tab S6 Lite, you'll get better performance on this older iPad. Plus, if you want to play games like PUBG Mobile and Asphalt Legends Unite, they're going to play pretty smooth on here as well. This was the last iPad that had a headphone jack, which is good because the speakers on here are definitely not as nice as the newer iPads. Still probably loud enough for most people, but it's definitely one of the weaker parts to this iPad, especially considering they're on the same side. But here's a quick sample just to give you an idea of what it sounds like. When it comes to the cameras, sure, they're a little bit dated on this iPad, but still not bad for a tablet, especially in this category. Obviously, you'll get better results from your cell phone, even budget cell phones nowadays. It also has center stage, but you could still use this for Zoom meetings or other video conference calls with pretty decent quality. This won't shoot up to 4K resolution like most iPads, but again, I don't know if that's going to be a deal breaker for most people, especially for people looking at tablets under $200. Here's a few quick samples just to give you an idea of how this older iPad compares to the newer one. So why is this iPad so popular? Well, I'd say the price is definitely the biggest reason, but in my opinion, it's still a pretty good, affordable option and definitely has some more unique features that you won't get on the newer iPads that have been released since. So if you've made it this far into the video, you may want to say thanks by subscribing, and don't forget to give a thumbs up if this video was helpful. This is Brian from Fishbee Productions. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.